Level 1. The job posting. You find the listing on a Tuesday. Lighthouse keeper wanted. Remote posting. Cape Harrow Station, Northern Coast. $4,200 per month. Housing included. Must be comfortable with isolation. You've been unemployed for 6 weeks. You apply the same night. 3 days later, they call you. The man on the phone has a flat voice. No warmth. No small talk. He says the previous keeper left suddenly. Says the position needs to be filled immediately. Says there's a ferry on Friday. You ask why the last keeper left. A pause. Personal reasons, he says. You don't push it. You pack a bag. Level 2. Arrival. The ferry takes 4 hours. The captain doesn't speak to you the entire ride. When Cape Harrow finally appears through the fog, it's not what you pictured. The lighthouse is tall, white stone gone grey from salt and weather. The keeper's cottage sits at its base, like something that grew there by accident. The captain drops your bags on the dock without helping. Before he pulls away, you ask him when the next ferry comes. 2 weeks, he says. Then the engine roars, and he's gone. You stand on the dock alone. The wind is sharp. The sea is the colour of old iron. You find the key under a rock exactly where they told you it would be. The cottage door swings open. Inside, the table is set for one. A mug, a plate, a spoon, like someone was expecting you. Level 3. The logbook. Your job is simple, they said. Check the light mechanism twice daily. Log weather readings every 6 hours. Maintain radio contact with the mainland every Monday and Thursday at 800. You find the operations manual on the shelf. But behind it, there's something else. A logbook. Handwritten, not the official one. The name on the inside cover reads, Thomas Vale, Keeper, March through November. You open it. The first entries are routine, mundane, wind speed, fog, maintenance tasks, but around week 6, something changes. Saw it again at 2 a.m., moving below the surface, too large for a whale. Week 7. Radio crackled last night. Someone spoke, not the mainland. Week 8. The light is not for ships. The last entry is 3 weeks ago. It's just 4 words. I know what's here. You close the book. You tell yourself Thomas Vale was clearly losing his mind. Isolation does that to people. You put the book back behind the manual. You go to bed. You don't sleep until 4 a.m. Level 4. The pattern. By the end of week 1, you've settled into the rhythm. Dawn check log, radio, maintenance, dinner. Dusk check sleep. Simple. Quiet. Too quiet maybe, but manageable. Then you notice the birds. Every morning they gather on the rocks below the cottage. Dozens of them. Cormorants mostly. They face the water, not the lighthouse. The water. All of them. Perfectly still, like they're watching for something. You mention it on the Thursday radio check with the mainland. The operator's name is Linda. She's been friendly until now. When you describe the birds, she's quiet for a moment. Just keep to your duties. Don't spend too much time watching the water at night. You ask her why. She says she has another call. The line clicks off. That night, you pull out Thomas Vale's logbook again. You read every entry from the beginning. This time you notice something you missed before. He never once mentions the birds, which means either they weren't there when he was, or he stopped caring about the birds a long time before the end. Level 5. The signal. Week 3. You're running the light mechanism check at 2 a.m. when you see it. A signal. Out on the water. Maybe 2 miles out. A light. Blinking in a pattern. 3 short. 2 long. 3 short. Over and over. You watch it for 10 minutes. You check the shipping logs. No vessels are scheduled near Cape Harrow tonight. No vessels are ever scheduled near Cape Harrow. You don't respond. You go back inside. But the next night it's there again. Same position, same pattern, 3 short. 2 long, 3 short. You get out the old signal manual from the shelf. You cross-reference the pattern. It's not in any official code. On the 4th night, you make a decision you'll think about for the rest of your life. You respond. 3 short, 2 long, 3 short. You flash it back from the lighthouse lamp. The signal on the water stops. For a long moment there's nothing. Then a single long flash. One word in maritime code. Good. Your hands are cold, and not from the wind. Level 6. The visit. On the following Monday, the ferry comes early. Not the regular captain. A different boat. Smaller. No markings. 2 men climb the dock. They're not there for a friendly visit. They know your name. Your full name. They know you responded to the signal. They sit at your kitchen table like they own it. The taller one does the talking. He says Cape Harrow Lighthouse has a specific purpose. Has had for 30 years. He says the light doesn't guide ships. It marks a corridor, a route, used every few weeks by people who need to move things. Or people, quietly, unrecorded. He says Thomas Vale knew this. Thomas Vale was a part of it for 7 years. He says Thomas Vale got nervous, started asking questions he wasn't supposed to ask. He pauses here and looks at you. We hope you're more practical than Thomas. He slides an envelope across the table. It's thick. You don't open it while they're there. But when the boat disappears into the fog, you counter it. $6,000 in cash. More than a month's salary for one night's cooperation. You look at the lighthouse. You look at the envelope. You put the money in your drawer. Level 7. The routine changes. You learn the system over the following weeks. When a signal comes from the water, you respond. Then you kill the light for exactly 40 minutes. No light means no Coast Guard tracking from the satellite logs. A dark lighthouse on a dark sea. A safe corridor opens and closes like a door. You don't ask what passes through it. That's the rule they made very clear. The money comes every 2 weeks. Left in an envelope under the same rock where you found the cottage key. Like a ritual. Like you always belong to this. You stop reading Thomas Vale's logbook. You start sleeping better, which surprises you. You start eating well. Drinking good coffee they bring on supply runs. The isolation doesn't bother you anymore. You've stopped being alone out here. You just can't tell anyone that. One night, you think about Thomas. You wonder where he is. You tell yourself he's fine. You almost believe it. Level 8. The crack, month 4. A ship comes through the corridor. But something is wrong. It comes in too fast. Off the usual timing. You give the signal. Kill the light. But through your binoculars, you see it. People on the deck. Not crew. They're packed together. Maybe 40 of them. Men, women, a child. You stand there in the dark with the binoculars pressed to your face, and you feel something shift inside you. Something that has no name and doesn't need one. You think about the envelope under the rock. You think about Thomas Vale. I know what's here. The ship moves through. The light comes back on. You go inside. You sit at the table. Thomas's logbook is still on the shelf. You don't know why you pick it up, but you open to the last page, and you read that final entry again. I know what's here. Then you turn the page. There's one more entry you missed before, hidden under a stuck page. If you're reading this, you're already in it. There's a number. Inside the manual cover. He doesn't know I put it there. Call it. Ask for Reyes. Tell them the corridor and the schedule. They'll do the rest. It's the only way out that doesn't involve disappearing. You sit very still. The wind hits the cottage walls. The light turns above you, slow and mechanical. You look at the operations manual. Level 9. The choice. You find the number. Small. Written in pencil on the inside back cover. You stare at it for 2 days. On the 3rd day, you pick up the satellite phone. You dial. It rings 4 times. A woman answers. Yes. You ask for Reyes. Silence. Then a different voice. Who gave you this number? You say Thomas Vale. Another silence. Longer. Where are you? You tell them. You tell them the corridor, the schedule, the signals, all of it. Reyes speaks slowly, carefully. They say they need 3 weeks. They say you have to act completely normal until then. They say if anything feels off, if the men come early, if the schedule changes, you do not run. Running makes you look guilty. Looking guilty gets people killed. You say you understand. You hang up. You go do the dawn check. You log the weather. You wait. Level 10. The longest 3 weeks. You become a perfect lighthouse keeper. Precise, calm, routine. The envelopes keep coming. You keep taking them. The signals come twice more. You run the corridor both times, because stopping now would be the most dangerous thing you could do. Linda on the radio is friendlier again, like nothing happened. You wonder if she's one of them. You wonder how far this goes. You stop wondering. You sleep 4 hours a night. You drink too much coffee. You read every entry in Thomas Vile's logbook until you have them memorized. You understand now why he wrote it. He needed someone to know. He couldn't carry it alone. Neither can you. On a Wednesday in week 3, you're at the light mechanism doing the morning check. You hear a boat, not the ferry, not the unmarked supply run. Multiple engines, fast. You walk out onto the lantern gallery and look down. 3 Coast Guard vessels, coming in hard from the north, and behind them, just visible through the morning haze, 2 more. You don't move. You just hold the railing. The wind is cold. The sea is grey. And for the first time in 4 months, the lighthouse is yours again. They take you in for questioning. 6 hours in a room with no windows. Rhea sits across from you. In person, she's younger than her voice. She tells you they've been watching Cape Harrow for 2 years. Couldn't crack the timing until you gave them the schedule. She tells you they've arrested 9 people, seized 2 vessels. She tells you Thomas Vile tried to do what you did, but he called the wrong number first. She doesn't say what happened to Thomas. She doesn't have to. You go home, your real home, 6 weeks later. The lighthouse job officially terminated due to operational restructuring. They give you a new name in the system, a new address. Just precautionary, they say. You sit in your new apartment in a city you didn't choose. You don't sleep well, not because you're afraid, but because every time it's quiet, you hear it, the sound of the lighthouse beam turning, slow, mechanical, patient, like it's still waiting for you, like it will always be waiting. You think about the 40 people on that deck. You think about the child. You think about the envelope under the rock. You made the right call. You know that. But making the right call and escaping clean are 2 very different things. The lighthouse doesn't care which choice you made. It just keeps turning. It just keeps cutting through the dark. And somewhere out there, on some other remote posting, some other desperate person just found a job listing. Remote. Housing included. Must be comfortable with isolation. And they're already typing their application. The light is not for ships. It never was.